was amazing. Amazing.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that was amazing. However, today, there is no other way. I'll have to go to prison. The judge, I have to admit, is doing this in a clever way. In a way, he says, I'm not going to send you to prison, but I am not allowing you to be a pastor for 18 months. 18 months, he is putting a probation on me that I cannot speak about what I see. I cannot counsel people in a truthful manner. Every time I open my mouth, I have to read a mantra that vaccines are real and saving people. The masks do work. That this whole thing is based on science. That majority of the medical profession are, in fact, yes, they are liars. But that's not what he said. He called me a bloody murderer. He is accusing me on public record of murdering people. He is telling that I am a dangerous individual. And he put like $50,000 penalty, total combined, 18 months probation, excluding me from being able to be a pastor and to preach the truth. And of course, I cannot do that. And I will not do that. So, I don't know what to tell you. The level of corruption in a court system is appalling. It has reached a new level. And the only thing I've seen a similarity to what we're observing right now is when I was growing up in Poland under the boots of the Soviets. You had your right in court, but all the courts and the judges were corrupted. And there was nothing to do with law and order. It was a political activity. They were political activists. So what they were doing is they would beat you up. They would, just like what they did to me, rough me up, almost broke my wrists and my shoulders, kept me 3 days without sleep, strip us naked, put chains on our legs. So we went through torture part. And then you would appear before the court hoping that, of course, the court is going to follow the rule of law, the court is going to follow the Constitution, the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, but that was never the case. Growing up in Poland, you never stood a chance before the judge, because the judge was not following the real science. The judge would never follow the real rule of law. The judge was to follow politics. So you have corrupted politicians that are partying with whiskey, breaking rules, no consequences to them, no prisons, no penalties, no financial penalties. The Premier of Alberta, Jason Kenney, the biggest, the fattest hypocrite in the country, a liar, a deceiver, a manipulator. He breaks the rules and no problems. The Minister of Finance, alongside his Premier, his King, his Pharaoh, he does the same thing, no consequences. The Health Minister, Chandra, at that time, the very one that is enslaving Albertans, the very one that was sending the Nazi Gestapo, AHS, to shut your businesses, to shut down the churches, the very man broke his own rules. No penalties, no arrests, no tickets. The Minister of Environment, Thieves, did the same thing. And then the Premier comes and he says, I take full responsibility for doing that. Do you see them being arrested and dragged before the courts? No, why not? Because the courts are corrupted. This has nothing to do with law and order. The judge called your conduct shameful. He's ashamed of you. And he says we are not following the real science. I'm not allowed to travel for 18 months, he says. He says, I was able to go to the States and raise money, therefore the penalty should be huge because I have means to raise money. This has nothing to do with law and order. This is a political vendetta by the Premier of Alberta. Personal vendetta, using the court system to penalize a pastor that just wants to be left alone. I want to be left alone. Leave me be. Our church is the healthiest church in the country. We're not dogs. Mr. Germain, I have a message for you. I'm not a dog, and I will not wear a muzzle. And I will not be vaccinated like a cat or a cow. As a good Christian, Mr. Judge, in quotes, you can take my portion of the job. I give you my whole family's jobs as an extra bonus. Take them all. Stick it. Well, of course, I'm upset because this is lawlessness. We have reached a new level of lawlessness. They want to muzzle me. So here's my challenge to you. If I'm not able to speak, my brother David is not able to speak, you speak. You yell as hard as you can. Because if I'm gone, you're next. If they will stop hunting me down, if they will stop hunting my family down, they will come after you. They will come after your children. They will come after your churches. They will come after your synagogues. We are the modern day Jews. It's a repetition of history. So this judge wants me to be quiet. He wants me to not preach the truth. Well, here is my answer to him. The Bible says, and I stand on my conviction and the Word of God. The Bible says, not Germain, not the corrupted Premier of Alberta, Jason Kenney, not the corrupted Minister of Finance, Chandro, thieves and Nixons and all those minions of the devil. The Bible says the truth shall set the captives free. The truth. And I will never cease preaching the truth. Because if that's taken away from me, I have nothing left. And a life is not worth living. So I say the same thing what I said to the chief of police. You want to get rid of me? Shoot me between my eyes. Because until I am alive, I shall preach the truth, and the truth will set many captives free. So this is my answer to the judgment. I will not obey this judgment. And as my answer, I am breaking it already right now here on the steps of the court. And I said to this corrupted judge, when I addressed the courts, what a sham of a court hearing. We never stood a chance. The Rook order, the judge, so-called, asked his friend, another judge, Germain, to look over this case. A friend of a friend. And a Rook is his boss. We never stood a chance. It had nothing to do with law and order. Like I said, it's a personal vendetta. That's what it is. So when I addressed the courts, I said to him, You can lock me up, take the key and throw it away. And you can still do that. You can lock me up, take the key and throw it away. But my political imprisonments will be even louder from a jail cell than from our humble church. I have nothing else to say. I'm going to go home and prepare for who knows what they're going to do to me. And if I'm out, I will be preaching the truth on Saturday in the church. You all are welcome to come. Saturday, 10 o'clock. And if I'm not in prison, I will join you during the Freedom March, 1 p.m. in the city of Calgary, where I will continue to preach the truth, and I will continue to preach the real science. For the past 4 months, I spent my time with the most knowledgeable doctors, biologists, and real scientists on the planet Earth. Every single one of them. We're talking about the most knowledgeable, most famous doctors in the world. Said one simple thing to me: the jobs are murdering people. And you see this left and right. The judge has wrong science. The doctor said to me that the virus and recovery of the COVID-19 is so high that is not considered in even year as pandemic. It's a lie. Did you see the CBC report with the mannequin in ICU? They are lying to you, Canada. They are manipulating the news. They're cooking the news. They are the real criminals. They are the criminals. The judge is the criminal. The politicians are the criminals. And those that are perpetrating and moving forward with this lie, the mainstream media, all of them should be charged with treason. Nuremberg number 2. Thank you so much for coming. Keep us in prayer. And if it's God's will, I will be either preaching in prison or preaching Saturday in the church.
Thank you all for coming. I salute you all. We stand on guard for thee. We stand on guard for the truth. You know, this crook, you know what, a few words I have to say to him. God has created human being in such a way that the gray hair should be like a medal of honor, of wisdom. In his case, it's the opposite. Shame on him and on his whole household. Because very soon, listen to my words, very soon he shall see the Lord. Mark my words. This is what a word I have for you, O crooked judge. And you will stand before a holy God, and you will give an account for every wrong judgment you have committed in your entire life. And the judge you're going to stand before is uncorrupted judge, cannot be bribed. Woe to you, woe to you, woe to you. Madhu, Minister of Justice. You came from Nigeria to bring terror. You claim to be Christian. You looked me in the eye during the stampede. And you hold my hand and you said, I love you guys. I love you guys. Well, for your hypocrisy, you will burn one day if you will not repent. That's my word to you, from a Christian preacher to you. You claim to be a Christian, yet you persecute your brethren. That's the worst kind. You're worse than those that don't believe. That's what my God says. Madhu. They gave me 10 months of probation. They said the same thing. I cannot speak the truth. You can shove it where the sun doesn't shine. How can I live as a Christian man, as a man that's born again, know the truth and put it in my pocket? Are you insane? He did that on purpose. Everything was a setup. This country is corrupt. The politicians are corrupt. The judges are corrupt. My prayer is for Canadians to open their eyes very, very, very soon. Because time is ticking. And I'm telling you, they came for us, they're going to come for you. Everything we've been saying for the past 16 years, lo and behold, look at us today. People are dying all over the place. This de facto government is right now uttering death threats to your families. How? Either you take a experimental potion, because it's not a vaccine, or you lose your job. That means you won't be able to provide bread for your family. So either way, you're doomed. Keep your eyes open. Listen. 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 Be strong. You hear me? Be strong and courageous. Be strong. Know who you are. Know your God. Be strong. I bless you all.
Powiedz wyraźnie, jaki jest wyrok.
I want you to know something. The Premier of Alberta can stop this tyranny and this persecution any minute of his time. You know that? There is a section in the code that the Premier of Alberta, if he chooses, he can stop this persecution right now. He has the power. So don't be fooled when they tell you the politicians cannot mingle with the judges and all. That's a lie. That's a big fat lie. And my son, you know, he's studying to be a lawyer. I need an in-house lawyer now. 16 years of non-stop persecution, non-stop harassment and intimidation, and they want to make an example out of me, and they want to take the very thing that they are terrified the most, my voice. I will be preaching from prison if needs be. Every day I'll be on the phone preaching to every media outlet that is willing to record the conversation. I've done it when we were arrested before. And I'm telling you, I may have a very small reach from here, but when I'm there, millions of people are listening to the recorded phone calls from prison. And if that's the way to amplify my voice, so be it. But remember this, the Premier of Alberta has the power to stop this insanity right now. He has that power. And if he is going to choose not to exercise that power, then you have a tyrant as the Premier. Tyrant. So again, like I said, $50,000 combined, 18 months probation for me. I cannot be a pastor. And what it was, 120 community hours. And this crooked judge said, listen what he said. I have devoted 22 years already of my life to save lives and feed the poor. 7 times I remortgaged my house to keep feeding the poor on the streets of your city here in Calgary. Not received a penny from the government. Everything I've done, I did it with volunteers and the people that have a heart, not like those politicians. And this judge is telling me I cannot serve those over 100 hours community service with the church that feeds the poor every week. The level of insanity, the level of corruption. I feed the poor week after week after week. And I'm not allowed to do that. I have to go to somebody else's place, to the corrupted shelters, to do those community hours there. Can you imagine the insanity of this judgment? Wow. Wow. That tells you very clearly this is a personal vendetta. Nothing to do with health, because if this was a real pandemic, the politicians would not be breaking those rules left and right. They themselves do not believe in this. That's why they don't care about their own mandates. If this was about rule of law, like the judge said, that what we're doing is a disrespect to the court system. No, I do respect court. I have a disrespect to the corrupted court, political court. Well, let's just have a little bit of a church. If we can sing a few songs, Larry. Are you up for the challenge to break some rules and be counted among the rebels, with the rebels?
Let's sing one most of you should know. We are one in the Spirit.
Chcesz powiedzieć
We
kilka
are
słów po
one
polsku?
in the Spirit, we are one in the Lord. We are one in the Spirit, we are one in the Lord. And we pray that our unity will one day be restored. And they'll know we are Christians by our love, by our love. Yes, they'll know we are Christians by our love. We will walk with each other, we will walk hand in hand. We will walk with each other, we will walk hand in hand. And together we'll spread the news that God is in our land. And they'll know we are Christians by our love, by our love. Yes, they'll know we are Christians by our love. You know, there's a term for what happens to judges when they're taken out of office. There's a term. Does anybody know what happens to a judge when he's disgraced and taken out of office? Tarred and feathered, that could be one. But no, it's disrobed. So let's call to the heavens right now. Disrobe Jermaine. Disrobe Jermaine. Disrobe Jermaine.
Disrobe Jermaine! Disrobe Jermaine! Disrobe Jermaine! Disrobe Jermaine! Disrobe Jermaine!
Now for John Rook of the Rook Order, the famous Rook Order. Disrobe Rook!
Disrobe Rook! Disrobe Rook! Disrobe Rook! Disrobe Rook! Disrobe Rook! Disrobe Rook! Disrobe Rook! Disrobe Rook! Disrobe Rook!
And another famous one, David Gates.
Disrobe Gates! 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 Disrobe Gates!
There we've covered the evil trinity of judicial malpractice in our land here, and we don't care who knows it or who hears it. We have one media outlet here, Rebel News. Thank you to Rebel News, to Ezra Levant, to Adam Seuss here. covering so faithfully every aspect of Arthur's struggle, of David's struggle with the courts. And we thank, where are the rest of the media? No doubt one of those windows, they're probably filming us, the police, but where's the rest of the media? Yeah, fake news, fake news. Let's sing a classic, the one that brings us together. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. When we've been there 10,000 years. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less faith to sing God's praise than when we first begun. There's one location that we have not had a demonstration at yet. That is the headquarters of Alberta Health Services in Calgary. It's located Southland Drive and Southport. That is where, in the tower, the big tower, ironically, it has a lighted cross on it at night. Ironically, I think the snake is going around the